In the last class, we learnt about proteins, isn't it? And we understood the use of proteins in our body and what it is made up of. And also, we understood what happens if there is deficiency of protein in our body. The next nutrient which we are going to learn today is fat. Look at these pictures here. Have you seen these things in your home? Yes, isn't it? We have seen these bottles in our home. What does it contain? All these are different types of oil, isn't it? Coconut oil, sunflower oil, ghee, butter, all these things. Why do we need this? Do we need this for our body? Do we use it in our food? Yes. Or do we take it directly? Do we take it and directly drink it? No, isn't it? How do we use this in the food we eat? Yes, look at this video. These are the different ways in which we use them in the food we eat. So we use this oil not directly but indirectly for frying, for cooking, all these things. When we use this oil, that enters our body. Really need fat. So what does this oil contain? It contains the nutrient called as fat. Do we really need fat in our body? Is it good for our body? Yes, we all know that we need fat in our body. So what is fat? Fat is one of the food nutrients which is required for the body in small quantities. We need not take that in big quantities. We need these in very small quantities. So what all things contain fat? Yes, we know meat, isn't it? Beef, chicken, mutton, all these things contain fat. Fish contains fat. Milk and milk products contain fat. Egg contain fat, and different other kinds of pea. Pea means groundnut. All these type of pea, that is almond, coconut, all these contain fat, isn't it? And different kinds of oil and ghee which is extracted from many food items contain fat. How does this fat help us? Yes, it gives us energy like carbohydrate, and also certain vitamins dissolve only in fat. So when we are learning about the vitamins, we will learn more about dissolving of vitamins in fat. So to get these vitamins, what do we need? We need the fat in our body. So if there is no fat at all, what will happen? The vitamins which are needed and which dissolves only in fat will not reach inside our body. So it will affect our body also. Now how can we detect the fat in a particular food item? How do we know that there is fat in a particular food item? So in your textbook there is a picture given about a girl. She's telling, lady's finger is very slimy. When I cut, it contains a lot of fat. So how can we find out whether lady's finger contains fat? For that, I am going to show you a small example. That is, how do you know fat if there is fat? So for that, I am taking oil. I have taken oil in a cup and I am dipping my finger in this and I am applying little bit of oil on a piece of white paper. Okay. This is waste paper. So here, if I go and keep it in the sun for some time, this paper will change into, it will be transparent. So here you can see the paper has become transparent. So from this we can understand that there is fat content. So what have we to do? This is just an example. It's not an experiment. What you have to do is take different food items, okay, and rub it on a piece of white paper. You can take different vegetables also and different other food items which are there at home, okay, and you rub it on a piece of paper and then keep it in the sun for some time, okay, and then take it and see if the paper has turned into transparent. If you can see through, then it contains fat. So if it is, the color has changed like this, and if it is oily here, then that food item contains fat. So this is a small experiment which I am giving you to do. So this is a work which you have to do. You have to take different food items, rub it on a piece of paper, dry it in the sun, and then look. If the color of the paper has changed, if the oil content is there on the paper, then that food item contains fat. And that you have to make a table and write it down in your science note. Is it clear? Then, you must have heard the word cholesterol. Cholesterol, isn't it? What is cholesterol? Cholesterol also is a form of fat. Okay, it is a form of fat which is there in different food items, and also cholesterol is produced by our body. So cholesterol is a form of fat which is present in the different food items that we eat, and also the body produces cholesterol. Now we have heard, sometimes in your home also, you would have heard big people saying, we are having cholesterol, we are having high cholesterol, and he is sick, isn't it? So what happens if the cholesterol level in our body increases? Yes, if the cholesterol level in our body increases, it will lead to different heart diseases, different types of diseases, and also heart diseases. What happens actually? Cholesterol is a type of fat. So when you, if you have cut meat and fish and all, you can see inside on the meat, you can see white things. That is the fat content inside the animals. Okay, in the same way, inside our body also there will be this fat content. It will be white in color. So when the cholesterol increases, what happened? We have lot of blood vessels inside our body. The arteries and the veins which carry blood from the heart to the different parts of the body and again into the heart to purify. So the blood goes through our body, it flows through our body to the different veins and arteries. So if there is fat content more or cholesterol more in our body, what will happen? This fat will go and stick on the walls of the different veins and arteries. Suppose in a hose, if you are pouring water, if something goes inside, the water will not come out. In the same way, what will happen? This will go and stick on the walls, and then it will lead to blockage in the heart. And so you have heard about angioplasty, angiogram. All these are different treatments given for blockage in the veins. This can lead to heart diseases. When all this happens, what happens? The passage will be closed, so the blood will not be able to flow. And blood, when it does not flow and stay for some time, it gets clotted. It gets hardened up. So blood clots will be formed and it will block the passage, and it can lead to heart diseases or heart attacks. So when we are growing older, we have to be very careful not to take too much of fat content food items. We have to lessen the intake of fat. So there are two types of cholesterol which we hear, LDL and HDL. So what is this LDL and HDL? If the fat has to move inside the blood, we need lipoproteins. Lipoproteins are the carriers of fat through the blood it has to go. So lipoproteins are the carriers which carry the blood fat or the cholesterol throughout our body. So there are two types of lipoproteins. Low density lipoprotein, which is called as LDL, and high density lipoprotein, which is called as HDL. So this low density lipoprotein is very dangerous for our body. It is needed but not in very high quantities. So if the LDL is more, it will lead to heart diseases. We should have HDL in our body to carry the cholesterol to the different parts. So this is just for an information for you to understand what is HDL and LDL. So HDL and LDL are two type of lipoproteins which are carriers of fat throughout the to carry the fat through the bloodstream. So we need HDL, not more of LDL. We need both, but LDL should not increase. So LDL cholesterol, if it increases, it will lead into heart diseases. So I hope you have understood, children. Thank you very much.